Hello. I've immigrated twice, really, but it's 4 times if you count Scotland to England and Ontario to Quebec. It's been a pain in the butt, but I'm happy to be here. I brought jobs when I came to America. It took me about 10 years of visa green card, and I now discover I could have just walked over the Rio Grande dressed like Osama bin Laden. We have a system right now that punishes those who follow the rules, and there's this assumption that immigration has always been the same, and there's all these myths that surround it, but that's not true. This is not your grandfather's immigration. Hey, Angela Merkel, you're insane. In 2010, you said multiculturalism doesn't work. It's a failed experiment. I thought you were saying, I don't know if you hit your head or something, but recently you were reading, as Ezra Levant put it, Germany's suicide note. You're letting in 500,000 immigrants a year? The population of Germany is like 80 million. That's the same as America letting in 2 million a year. You're sabotaging the country. And the justification seems to be, oh, well, we had a good run. Let's wipe ourselves out. When someone questioned her recently, she suggested they go to church and look at a painting and understand history and culture.
Dann aber auch bitteschön die Tradition, mal wieder in den Gottesdienst zu gehen oder ein bisschen bibelfest zu sein und vielleicht auch mal.
Okay, I understand history and culture. I'm going to break down the top 5 myths I keep hearing again and again. They are, number 1, we're a nation of immigrants. What? What does that mean? Are you saying that, are you telling me that we didn't just slowly grow out of the ground like there was an America Adam and Eve, a Canada Adam and Eve, a Germany Adam and Eve? Yeah, I know that. I know that human beings are 250,000 years old. We started in Africa and spread across the globe like nomads. But eventually, in the modern world, you go, all right, this is a country now. You form borders. Every country forms borders, and you maintain those borders. You know what Mexico does to illegals? They literally put them in a bus and ship them out. That's the thing everyone makes fun of us for saying. Number 2, history is that of immigration. No, it's not, okay? In America, at least, it's gone open the gates, close the gates. Open the gates, close the gates. In the 50s, we had a massive surge. Plenty of illegals too. Closed the gates after that. Assimilate, assimilate, assimilate. Proud to be an American. Italians have their little tomato plants. Then they make some money. They move out into the suburbs. The Germans have their German towns where they speak German all the time. They learn English. They move to nicer areas, and so on, strengthening the fabric of the country, making more Americans America. People with like-minded minds, minding their own business. Then, in 65, the gates came off. They told us, the government said it was just going to be temporary, but they ripped the gates off and they haven't shut since. We had a huge surge in the late 60s and it's just been going whoop, whoop, whoop from there. And recently, we've been getting immigrants that don't like us. We're encouraging them not to assimilate. And this was all done because politicians thought, I know, I'll get more dependents. And a good 51% of immigrants are on welfare. And I'll get more votes. Guys, Hispanics don't vote. I think they had barely a 24% turnout rate in the 2014 elections. And Muslims in their home countries are notoriously disinterested in politics. So you got screwed and you screwed us over 10 times worse in the process. Number 3, they assimilate. No, they don't assimilate. I'm not going to say retard, very dumb person. I actually prefer handicapped people to people who say immigration myths. They radicalize. Listen to their accents. How many times you're in a cab and you go, yeah, I'm just going to Midtown. Okay, are you going to Third Avenue? And you're like, Third Avenue? What are you talking about? And he'll go, I'll inevitably ask, how long have you been here, by the way? Oh, about 35 years. 35 years. If I lived in India for 1 year, I'd be going, oh, ke hal chale yaar, tik tak, pyari ladki. Okay, shukriya, Hur Hafiz. They don't like the country. They're not interested in the culture. They live in Little India and Queens. They live in Koreatown. They live in Chinatown. They don't want to become America. So we're now tearing apart the fabric of the country rather than creating a harmony. That's not harmony, that's dissonance. They go to Korean schools. My kids have to learn Spanish in their school, but Spanish kids don't have to learn English. They go to Spanish schools. That's not becoming part of the country. That's building a little secret country of your own. the crime rate goes down. No, it doesn't. The crime rate goes up, okay? The Tsarnaev brothers were radicalized here. They get worse. Look at London. Look at all the London bombings and all these different attacks. You see pictures of them as kids and they have a Batman poster on their wall and they're going, we make things worse for them because it's cool to be anti-patriotic. Occupy Wall Street, Black Lives Matter, anti-Americanism is entrenched in those movements. In fact, the guy who shot the 2 NYPD cops was a radical Muslim. No one ever talks about that. The guy who's going to make pigs fly does not eat pigs. Same with the dude with the axe who attacked that cop. The terrorists in Canada where they killed, they had 2 major attacks in 1 week. Those were all born happy here. We are having a culture now where not only do our immigrants not assimilate, but our own citizens become jihadists because they don't want to be patriotic. So when we can't even get our own people in check, we shouldn't be bringing in hundreds of thousands of people who hate us. This brings us to number 5. Our native population is going down. Yes, our native population is going down or staying steady, but how is that a bad thing? I don't understand why we have to fill these rooms and fill these houses and they're just going to sit there and rot. The whole country's going to turn into Detroit if we don't keep cramming it with people that hate us. And it's worth asking, why is the fabric of the country falling apart? Why are all these guys not proposing and sitting on their parents' couch playing video games? Maybe it's because you killed their economic libido by giving away all the jobs that teenagers used to do. They don't mow lawns anymore. They don't clean pools. They don't develop a self in their formative years. They become formless blobs. This whole idea that there's become a jambalaya and, they say, oh, look at the cute little immigrant towns. They have less crime than other towns. Yeah, because there's less blacks. For whatever reason, cities with more blacks tend to have more crime. You chose this little rural town as an example of harmonious multiculturalism, but they're all speaking Spanish there. They're speaking Spanish in City Hall. That's not America. It's almost like an embassy. You created conflict when you said you were going to create multiculturalism. The only hope is to close the borders and allow this mess to assimilate, not open the doors wider and let more cram in. That's called suicide. And if you're a lemming and you're happy to say, well, I had a good run and you want to run off the cliff, go bananas, run off that cliff. But don't grab me and pull me down with you. We don't want to join your suicide pact.